Chapter 39, Alchemy in the Streets. You're kidding, right? She had finally managed to gather this many people. If she went inside to refine the pill, how many people would actually see it? Just Master Ming and a few apprentices. How many emotion points could they offer? Emotional points have to come from the masses. Master Ming frowned, and his expression turned stern for the first time. He said slowly,
I know you're still young, and maybe you have some vanity, wanting to show off in front of others. But alchemy is all about focus. Every second matters. The slightest disturbance could ruin the entire pill. If you truly wish to become an alchemist, you shouldn't entertain such thoughts.
Yunjin knew that Master Ming meant well. But what could she do? She needed emotion points. So, Yunjin calmly said,
I still want to refine the pill in public.
Mingheng was clearly a little annoyed, but after taking 2 deep breaths, he held it in. He gave a cold laugh.
Fine, as you wish.
He pointed to a disciple.
Go and bring out the furnace from pill room number 1.
The apprentice glanced at Yunjin with disdain, and immediately accepted the order. This little girl wanted to make a fool of herself in public. Let her. It had nothing to do with them. After the apprentice left, Mingheng asked again,
Which grade 1 pill are you going to refine?
Beating pill.
Yunjin answered directly. Beating pills are used during the qi refining stage to enhance spiritual energy, and are a relatively common type of grade 1 pill with low difficulty. Often the first choice for novice alchemists. But Yunjin hadn't thought that much about it. Mainly because the only grade 1 pill she currently had was a beating pill, given to her by Ye Danxia. Yunjin had used a few simplification chances, and had already reduced the refining method of the beating pill to its simplest form. So for this test, of course, she would refine the beating pill.
You, go get 3 sets of beating pill ingredients.
Mingheng instructed another disciple. Then he looked at Yunjin.
You get 3 attempts. As long as 1 batch succeeds, you pass.
Yunjin's eyes lit up.
If I succeed on the first try, can I take the remaining 2 sets of ingredients with me?
Mingheng.
Yes.
Yunjin instantly became even happier. Mingheng, however, had already written her off as a clown putting on a public spectacle, and no longer paid her much attention. Very soon, the furnace and ingredients were brought out. The area was now surrounded by people, and became very lively. After all, it was extremely rare to see an alchemist refining pills in public. Most alchemists would make thorough preparations beforehand. Some even bathed and fasted, lit incense, and prayed with great ceremony. And when they refined pills, they would block out all outside interference. Someone flamboyant enough to refine pills in public. That was rare. At least for many here. They had never seen one in their entire lives.
All right, you may begin.
Mingheng said flatly. Yunjin confidently stepped up to the furnace. After simplification, her current beating pill recipe was: light the fire, add beating grass and cleansing solution. After half an hour, the pill would be done. Compared to the original recipe, it omitted 3 whole ingredients and was much faster, basically foolproof. Yunjin thought for a moment, and used a few more simplification chances. This time, the recipe didn't change but the pill quality did. Before, she could only produce high-quality beating pills. Now, they came out as perfect quality right from the start. That was the highest quality a grade 1 pill could reach. Only then was Yunjin satisfied. There were so many people today. If she was going to show off, she'd show off big. The emotion points she spent were totally worth it. Because she was sure she would earn it all back. Now fully confident, Yunjin was ready to activate the furnace. She looked around and felt it out. Everyone watched curiously. They heard some alchemists had strange rituals before refining pills. Was this little girl doing some kind of ritual? Just as the crowd was getting curious, Yunjin suddenly gave an awkward smile. She looked at Mingheng and asked,
Master Min, how do you turn this furnace on?
Silence. Chen Changrong went silent. Yue Zhao also went silent. Yue Zhao was about to lose his mind. He had been hoping for a miracle. Maybe his junior sister had learned alchemy before joining the sect. But the reality, Yunjin didn't even know how to start the furnace. If she could actually make a pill, then science really had no explanation. Chen Changrong also looked helpless. This little girl was clearly talented, but to become an alchemist, she was still missing something. But that's fine. He hadn't really lost out. She could still be trained. As for this attempt, probably best not to have hope.
Is this not something you're allowed to tell me?
Yunjing asked with rare embarrassment, seeing everyone silent. Mingheng said slowly.
Channel your spiritual power into the red crystal at the top of the furnace. You'll then be able to control it freely.
Yunjing tried it, and sure enough, the furnace lit up with a whoosh, and a flame burst to life underneath. She could even adjust the flame at will. It was very easy to use. Yunjing was very pleased. She familiarized herself a bit with the furnace. Then she got up to fetch the herbs. Originally, refining this beating pill required 4 kinds of herbs, plus a portion of purified spiritual energy in the form of cleansing solution. However, the simplification system had simplified all of that. Yunjing glanced over the 3 sets of beating grass, picked and selected among them, and finally chose those with similar quality. Seeing her method, Mingheng was actually a bit surprised. This little girl's skill in selecting herbs was first-rate. One had to know that herbs for alchemy weren't always better just because they had stronger medicinal power. If one herb's potency was particularly strong while the others were much weaker, the imbalance could easily cause a clash during refinement. On the contrary, herbs with evenly matched potency were much easier to harmonize. It seemed this girl wasn't entirely clueless after all. So the next step, she should begin by processing the beating grass and then. Just as Mingheng was thinking this, he saw Yunjing grab the few stalks of beating grass and dump them all into the furnace in one go. She even seemed afraid of getting burned, so she slammed the lid shut and immediately ran far away. Mingheng? What in the world was that? Who taught her she could throw herbs into the furnace without any pre-processing? Before he could even react, Yunjing grabbed a bottle of cleansing solution, opened the furnace again, poured the whole thing in, slammed the lid down, and darted away again. Mingheng? He was completely numb now. This little girl wasn't here to challenge the first-rank alchemist title. She was here to test the limits of his heart's endurance. Just throwing herbs in like that, without even controlling the flame, this batch of pills was seconds away from exploding. Thankfully, it was just a grade 1 pill. Even if it exploded, he could still contain it. But Mingheng was already grinding his teeth in frustration. What exactly had this little girl come here to do? And if she was going to throw things in recklessly, why not do the same for the remaining 3 ingredients? At that moment, crack crack, a strange sound suddenly echoed across the scene. Mingheng instinctively tensed up. Was the furnace already about to explode? Crack crack, the sound continued. Something didn't feel right. He turned around to look, only to see Yunjing had already fetched a small stool, sat herself down, and was happily munching on sunflower seeds. Mingheng. Chapter 40. A mature furnace should learn to refine pills on its own. The scene once again fell into silence. Lanke looked at Yue Zhao in a daze.
Has your junior sister always been this, unique?
Yue Zhao looked even more dazed than she did. He asked very sincerely.
If I say right now that I actually don't know her, would you believe me?
Eldest senior brother, do you still have any of those spiritual sunflower seeds you gave me last time? I'm almost out over here.
Yunjing suddenly shouted. Lan stared silently at Yue Zhao. Yue Zhao silently tossed over a bag of sunflower seeds, but he still held his ground and said,
She's just yelling nonsense. I really don't know her.
Lan nodded. She believed him. Okay. The furnace continued diligently refining the pills, while the spectators with nothing else to do could only watch Yunjing munching on sunflower seeds. She ate one after another, and, to be honest, they looked pretty tasty. Yunjing munched for a while and noticed everyone staring at her, especially Mingheng. And he wasn't just looking. In his eyes there was confusion, anger, and even a murderous urge. Yunjing didn't understand. She was just eating some sunflower seeds. Was it really that offensive? Seeing the continuous influx of emotion points, Yunjing decided she had to keep munching. No way she was stopping now.
You're just gonna sit there eating sunflower seeds.
Mingheng said through gritted teeth. Yunjing blinked, then seemed to understand. She offered him a handful of seeds.
You seem kind of bored too, want some?
Minheng took a deep breath and said through clenched teeth.
I meant, aren't you going to control the alchemy flame?
Technically, according to the rules, proctors weren't allowed to give reminders during the assessment. But Minheng really couldn't hold it in anymore. Throwing in herbs without pre-processing, arbitrarily omitting ingredients from the recipe. Any normal alchemist would be tense and focused during refinement, afraid that even one breath out of rhythm could ruin the whole batch. And Yunjing? She just sat there munching sunflower seeds. Was she here to take the test? Or to insult the entire profession of alchemy?
Control?
Yunjing said righteously.
No need. This furnace is pretty good, it can light itself. A mature alchemy furnace should be able to refine pills on its own. If an alchemist has to stare at it the entire time, how can that be considered a good furnace?
Minheng liked to think of himself as someone with good self-restraint. But right now, his chest was heaving. If not for the fact that the assessment was still underway, he probably would have hit her. Through clenched teeth, Minheng said,
There is no such thing in this world as a furnace that refines pills on its own. If you keep this nonsense up, this batch will explode within a few breaths.
Yunjing heard this and began breathing deeply.
What are you doing now?
Minheng growled, practically through his teeth. Yunjing looked a little aggrieved.
Master Min, I've taken quite a few breaths already, but it hasn't exploded.
Minheng's head was spinning. He opened his mouth and said,
That's because...
Because what? Yunjing looked at him intently, full of curiosity. Minheng's words got stuck in his throat. Suddenly, he was stunned. That's right. She did everything wrong. And yet the furnace still hadn't exploded. He couldn't help but turn to look. The pill furnace spun diligently, and a faint medicinal fragrance had already begun to emerge from within. Yunjing asked,
Master Min, what were you going to say?
Master Min's eyes widened. This? How could this be possible? The furnace was actually refining the pills on its own. Had he gone insane? Or had the furnace gone insane? Or had the world gone insane? Minheng's gaze began to look unfocused. He had studied bitterly for over 100 years, and only then had he advanced to third-rank alchemist. Yet at this moment, all the knowledge he had learned came crashing down.
What exactly did you do?
Minheng couldn't help but ask Yunjing. Yunjing spread her hands.
What did I do? Everyone saw it with their own eyes.
Minheng's lips trembled. It was true. Every move Yunjing made had been under everyone's watchful gaze. She was just a refining stage little girl. Under such scrutiny, there was no way she could have secretly done anything. So now was the furnace really refining pills on its own? Impossible. Minheng began to question reality. Yunjing sighed with emotion.
As expected, competing with yourself is worse than competing with the furnace. This furnace is just too dedicated.
Minheng gritted his teeth.
The Tao of alchemy is vast and profound. There must have been something that happened in the process we don't understand.
As he spoke, he began to mutter to himself.
Could it be that the true method of refining the beating pill is to discard the other ingredients and just use beating grass and cleansing liquid?
He raised his eyes and stared hard at the furnace. But it was still too soon to say anything. The furnace hadn't exploded yet. But whether it would actually yield pills was another matter. He refused to believe that such a crude and simplistic alchemy method could result in a real product. As he continued to wait, however, the medicinal aroma only grew stronger and more concentrated, with no signs of failure. Yunjing remained as nonchalant as ever, lazily munching on sunflower seeds. Minheng was now standing, not daring to even blink. This medicinal fragrance seemed even richer than that of a normal beating pill. It spread outwards, soon filling the entire street. The onlookers started to stir. What was going on? Could this chaotic, absurd method of pill refining actually produce results? Everyone had clearly seen Yunjing's earlier process, and could summarize it in just 5 words. We could do this too. If this worked, then couldn't they all become alchemists?
Brother, is this some kind of exclusive technique your junior sister developed?
Chen Changrong couldn't help asking Yue Zhao.
That might be possible.
Chen Changrong also began to ponder. If this pill truly formed, maybe he should try having someone test this new alchemy method too. For now, they waited for the final result of the furnace. Pills are typically divided into 3 grades: normal, refined, and perfect. The higher the quality, the more spiritual energy it contains, and the better the effect. As long as it reached normal quality, the batch would be considered a success. As for refined or perfect, Chen Changrong didn't even dare to hope. He had worked in the medicinal herb business for many years and knew more than the average person about alchemy. Even skilled alchemists often failed when refining pills. Especially among low-ranked alchemists, the failure rate was extremely high. That's why candidates were given 3 full sets of materials for the test. Most examinees, if they succeeded even once out of 3 tries, were already considered excellent. The pills produced were usually only normal quality. Higher qualities were rarely achieved. And low-ranked alchemists shouldn't even think about perfect quality. Take Minheng for example. As a 3rd-rank alchemist, even when he refined grade 1 pills, the majority are refined quality, with perfect quality being nearly impossible. Time ticked by. The fragrance from the furnace grew richer. The crowd stirred restlessly. Minheng's expression grew more serious. He didn't know what had happened, but that furnace looked like it was about to produce a result. If the pills were truly complete, the final step would be to extinguish the flame and collect them. This step was also crucial. The alchemist needed to control the heat and allow the furnace to cool gradually, ensuring that the moment it cooled, the pills were just ready. Too early or too late, and it could either ruin the pills or damage the furnace. This delicate timing required experience to master. Did this little girl even have that kind of experience? Minheng was getting anxious. If this batch really succeeded, it would be of immense research value. If this weren't part of the official assessment, he would have wanted to help her finish the process himself.
Looks like it's time.
Yunjin said, putting down her sunflower seeds and walking toward the furnace. Minheng watched, a little nervously. Anyone who didn't know better would have thought he was the one being tested. Chapter 41. Will she really not get beaten up for this? Minheng's heart was trembling. Seeing Yunjin's casual attitude only made him more panicked. Could this really work? The surrounding onlookers all held their breath and focused their attention. Yunjin, on the other hand, wasn't nervous at all. She gave a small hop, and, under the shocked gazes of the crowd, patted the alchemy furnace.
Alright, you did a great job.
The flames extinguished, and the furnace stopped spinning. It quietly came to a standstill in place. Jet-jeft, Minheng's heart shot straight up into his throat. He was about to lose it. How could the pill retrieval process be treated so casually? She just directly put out the flame. Normally, one should carefully sense the state of the pills, and then slowly bring the furnace to a stop. If such a valuable, research-worthy batch of pills were ruined at this final step, he would be livid.
The beating pill is done.
Yunjin casually lifted the lid of the pill furnace. Minheng clutched his fragile little heart, not daring to move a muscle. The pill had really formed. He needed to inspect it to be sure. Just as Minheng was about to step forward, in the next moment, golden light suddenly burst out of the pill furnace, and with it came a surge of medicinal fragrance. This phenomenon, Minheng's footsteps halted sharply, and a flash of disbelief crossed his eyes. The aroma was rich, the golden light dazzling. This was a perfect quality pill. Amid the golden glow, a faint silhouette of a pill rotated, bearing a clear, distinct pattern on its surface. This was the symbol of a grade 1 pill. Soon after, this silhouette, along with the golden light, sank into the furnace. The intense medicinal scent instantly vanished, fully sealed into the pill itself. The entire street fell into an eerie silence. Minheng stayed frozen, still holding his chest. Yunjin blinked. What's going on? Why is everyone reacting like this? Was there something wrong with her pill? Oh, there shouldn't be. Yunjin picked up a jade bottle to retrieve the pills. A full furnace of beating pills yielded 10 pills, and all 10 had formed successfully. Each time Yunjin picked up a pill, everyone's gaze followed her hand in unison. When all 10 were safely placed into the porcelain bottle, the crowd strangely let out a collective sigh of relief. Some among them didn't fully understand what had just happened. Now that the atmosphere had slightly relaxed, someone couldn't help but ask,
"What was that golden light just now? Also, isn't the beating pill supposed to be green?" Why are these transparent? Does that mean it failed or succeeded?
Many others were similarly puzzled. Chen Changrong, overhearing the question, explained in a low voice.
That golden light is a phenomenon unique to a perfect quality pill. When the medicinal power is completely integrated into the pill, it becomes transparent.
Perfect quality pill. A buzz instantly spread through the crowd. Discussions erupted one after another.
She just tossed the herbs in randomly, snacked on sunflower seeds, and managed to make a perfect quality pill.
Isn't perfect quality extremely difficult to achieve? Even Master Mean has never produced one before.
Did I miss some crucial step?
No way, I didn't even blink once.
Could it be that all those complicated pill-making steps were unnecessary? Letting the furnace work on its own is the real secret.
I'm buying some beaning grass and trying this at home.
The chatter continued nonstop. Yunjin's emotion points soared like a rocket. Depending on each person's cultivation level and emotional fluctuation, the emotion points they provided varied. The individuals here weren't as valuable as the disciples at Tianxing sect. But there were so many of them. Low individual value. That's fine, quantity makes up for it. Yunjin was counting emotion points until her face nearly cramped from smiling. This marketplace was too much fun. She would absolutely come back next time to show off.
Master Mean, did I pass?
Yunjin handed the porcelain bottle to Minheng. Minheng's hands trembled. He hesitated for a long moment, then carefully poured out a pill. As that crystal-clear beating pill lay in his palm, Minheng's heart trembled with it. Perfect quality. It really was perfect quality. Afraid of being mistaken, he inspected it again and again. Only after multiple checks did he croak out.
Perfect quality beating pill. You've passed the examination.
Thank you.
Yunjin happily put the pills away. Minheng stared longingly at the bottle until it was fully sealed. Only then did he reluctantly look away. He couldn't resist asking.
Just how did you do it?
Yunjin immediately put on a serious face. Minheng thought she was about to give a profound answer, and leaned in attentively.
It's simple.
Yunjin declared that serious.
I'm a peerless, 1 in a billion alchemy genius. The realm you mortals can't reach even after a lifetime of struggle, I attain with ease. That's the difference.
Minheng.
Ya mum.
Crumb. Just as Yue Zhao was about to step forward to acknowledge his junior sister, he quietly retracted his foot. If he kept following this girl, he was afraid he'd be beaten to death someday. Yunjin blinked innocently. She was very innocent, very helpless. Everyone knew she was fundamentally a low-profile person, the last to ever seek the spotlight. It was the system's fault. Yes, the system made her do it. In truth, even when she showed off, she was quite embarrassed, okay? That's right, deep down, she was totally not like this. Minheng took a deep breath and another. Finally, he pulled out a jade token.
Inject your spiritual aura into this jade token. From now on, this will be your unique alchemist license. In the future, for promotion assessments, always bring this. Your records will be updated directly within.
Yunjin quickly took it. She channeled a wisp of spiritual energy into the token. The token pulsed briefly, then returned to normal. Yunjin curiously examined it.
Doesn't this need to record my real name or something?
Minheng answered calmly.
No need. Cultivators can change appearance and names. Those are unreliable. Only your unique aura is eternal. Once this token is bound to you, whether you choose to reveal your identity or remain hidden is up to you. The pill pavilion won't interfere.
Yunjin nodded. That did seem pretty reasonable. Moreover, from what Minheng said, it was probably clear that he had noticed she was hiding her appearance. He just didn't care.
You are now a first-rank alchemist. With this token, you may freely enter and exit the pill pavilion. Inside, you can exchange with other alchemists. Compared to working behind closed doors, you'll improve faster this way.
Minheng advised. Yunjin nodded and asked.
Do the other alchemists' pill furnaces also operate on their own?
Emotion points plus 100.
Yunjin glanced at Minheng. This third-rank alchemist seemed rather easily provoked. Minheng replied in a calm voice.
Your method of refinement is indeed different from the mainstream. Perhaps this is a new path. I will try to study this new method moving forward.
Minheng was going to research her pill refining method. Yunjing was stunned. She quickly said,
Master Mean, this method of mine, unless you're an unparalleled genius, don't try it. Better not waste your time.
That sounded arrogant. But Yunjing was being genuinely sincere this time. Minheng gritted his teeth.
It's fine. I have plenty of time.
Unable to dissuade him, Yunjing could only let him be. She sighed.
I guess being too much of a genius is also a mistake. So many will try to follow in my footsteps, only to find it was all in vain. Seeing your pain after trying, I'm already starting to feel a little sorry for you.
That was just infuriating. Yue Zhao seized the moment and dragged Yunjing away. If they stayed any longer, he was afraid Yunjing really would get beaten up. Chapter 4 Operation.
Eldest senior brother, wait up. Where are you running off to?
Yunjing struggled as she stuffed the leftover herbs from the assessment into her storage pouch. Only after that did she allow herself to be dragged away. She didn't forget to wave at Minheng.
I'll be back.
Yue Zhao's face turned dark. I'll be back. Does she think she's a supervillain? Having just witnessed the birth of a first-rank alchemist and the formation of a perfect quality pill, the surrounding crowd was still restless. Thankfully, Chen Changrong and Landa helped shield the two of them, allowing them to finally escape the crowd. Yue Zhao let out a sigh of relief. Yunjing looked regretful. Next time, what should she do to draw a crowd like that again? If she had stayed and chatted with everyone a bit longer, she could have harvested a few more emotional points. How could the time-traveling eldest senior brother be so cowardly? Yue Zhao glanced at Yunjing. Yunjing glanced at Yue Zhao. At that moment, the same sentence passed silently through both their minds. Never go to the marketplace with him, her again.
This way, you two,
called Chen Changrong. Although they had gotten away from the crowd, there were still people chasing after them, so he beckoned. Without hesitation, Yue Zhao dragged Yunjing to follow Chen Changrong. They took a narrow alley back to the Baicao Pavilion and entered a secret chamber. A bright smile spread across Chen Changrong's face, the wrinkles looking like blooming flowers.
Little miss, you're really something.
Chen Changrong said, looking at Yunjing as though she were a treasure.
I didn't expect you to actually become a first-rank alchemist.
Yunjing responded calmly.
A first-rank alchemist. That's only the beginning. If this surprises you, you better get ready to be surprised a lot more.
Yue Zhao's lips twitched.
Pavilion Master Chen, please don't take my little junior sister's words to heart. She doesn't know how to talk properly.
Chen Changrong chuckled.
Not at all. I quite like her confident attitude.
Yue Zhao.
What?
You truly have the eyes of a wise man.
Yunjing approved. Chen Changrong cleared his throat and said,
Little miss, I was wondering if we could work together.
Yunjing raised an eyebrow and pointed to Yue Zhao beside her.
For business matters, talk to my eldest senior brother. My time is extremely valuable. I can't waste it on such worldly concerns.
Yue Zhao gritted his teeth.
And my time isn't valuable. Also, do you even have anything else to do right now?
Of course.
Yunjing nodded as if it were obvious.
What is it?
Yue Zhao asked suspiciously.
I haven't even had time to explore the marketplace yet. I'm going shopping with Sister An.
Yunjing declared confidently. That's your so-called serious business. Yue Zhao was momentarily speechless. Yunjing rummaged through her bag and pulled out the bottle of perfect quality pills. Right in front of Chen Changrong, she handed it to Yue Zhao.
Eldest senior brother, deal with this however you like. No need to treat it like a treasure. It's just a mere perfect quality pill. If I can make one bottle, I can make plenty more.
Chen Changrong's eyes flickered slightly. Did this little girl mean that producing a perfect quality pill wasn't just a fluke? That she was confident she could make more? An hour ago, Chen Changrong wouldn't have believed such words. But now Yunjing had already performed too many miracles. At that moment, he inexplicably wanted to believe her. Chen Changrong even felt that this girl might just be the greatest opportunity of his entire life. If he seized this chance, he might soar to the heavens in one leap. A kindly smile appeared on Chen Changrong's face.
Lance, go shopping with the young lady. Our Baicao Pavilion will cover any expenses.
Mass.
Lalanti immediately responded. She looked at Yunjing, full of youthful energy, and a hint of emotion flickered in her eyes. Just an hour ago, she had been explaining to this young girl how difficult it was to become a first-rank alchemist. An hour later, this very girl, who had declared she would bring her to leap to the heavens, actually became a first-rank alchemist. The whole process felt like a dream.
Sister Light, let's go.
Yunjin grabbed her by the hand, and the two girls left together. Yunjin controlled the mask, changed her appearance, and happily went shopping. Lance saw Yunjin's altered appearance, but didn't show any surprise. Most cultivators are cautious. Operations like Yunjin's are very common, and nothing unusual. In the secret chamber, Chen Changrong raised a smile.
Sir, how should I address you?
招什么?
Pavilion Master is too polite. Just call me Ren, 我行.
So it's Mr. Ren.
Chen Changrong responded naturally.
Mr. Ren, I wonder if you're interested in selling this bottle of perfect quality pills. Perfect quality pills contain 10 times the spiritual energy of ordinary pills. Therefore, I'm willing to offer 10 times the price of a regular pill bottle. I wonder what your opinion is, sir.
Chen Changrong's gaze remained fixed on the medicine bottle, unwilling to look away. A sharp glint flashed in Yue Zhao's eyes.
10 times. Master Chen, I'm afraid your sincerity is lacking.
Chen Changrong grew anxious.
Mr. Ren, what do you mean by that?
Yue Zhao said calmly.
As the value of this pill only in its spiritual energy. A grade 1 pill that was refined in public, its collectible value alone far exceeds that. Not to mention, it also holds great research value for alchemists. I dare say, even that Master Ming would be willing to pay a hefty price. Master Chen, we chose to negotiate with you, first only because my little junior sister has a connection with that apothecary. But if this is all the sincerity you have, then this market isn't lacking in potential partners.
Yue Zhao immediately put the porcelain bottle away and turned to leave. Chen Changrong panicked and quickly grabbed him.
Mr. Ren, we can still negotiate on the price, really.
Master Chen, we're all busy people. This bottle of pills for one price only. 10 high-grade spirit stones. If you want it, take it. If not, we'll find another buyer.
Yue Zhao stated directly. Chen Changrong's expression changed slightly. Yunjin used fewer materials than a typical alchemist, and succeeded in one go. The total cost of refining this bottle of beating pills was roughly 3 mid-grade spirit stones. Of course, the spirit stones were provided by him, and 1 high-grade spirit stone equals 100 mid-grade spirit stones. 10 high-grade stones. That's 1,000 mid-grade spirit stones. Normally, a bottle of regular quality beating pills sells for about 15 mid-grade spirit stones. This was nearly 100 times more expensive. Is it expensive? A bit, but, considering the research value these beating pills held, Chen Changrong gritted his teeth.
Fine. 10 high-grade spirit stones. I'll buy it.
Yue Zhao smiled and sat back down.
Master Chen, pleasure doing business with you.
Chen Changrong wiped the sweat from his forehead.
Mr. Ren is truly a master negotiator.
Yue Zhao remained modest.
Just acceptable.
Let's now discuss future collaboration. If your esteemed junior sister can produce more perfect quality pills, I'll be happy to continue buying them at this price.
Agreed. We can prioritize working with you. But I would like some of the rare herbs from the Baicao Pavilion included in our partnership.
The two immediately entered a heated discussion. When Yunjin returned from her outing with Lan Qi, she happened to see the two of them emerging from the chamber. Except, Yue Zhao looked energetic, while Chen Changrong looked completely drained.
Eldest senior brother, what did you do to the pavilion master?
Yunjin asked in surprise. Chen Changrong waved his hand with a bitter smile.
This Mr. Ren is just too good at business.
Mr. Ren.
Yunjin glanced at Yue Zhao. Yue Zhao, completely shameless, said seriously.
You didn't know. My mundane name is Ren, 我行.
Yunjin. She wanted to laugh, but she held it in. She just wanted to know. When senior brother eventually realizes that she also read, the smiling, proud wanderer, would he be so embarrassed that he runs into a wall? Chapter 43. Don't know how to show concern. Yue Zhao noticed that Yunjin seemed to be holding back laughter. He was slightly puzzled, but didn't think much of it. After all, his little junior sister wasn't exactly normal to begin with, and he had been forced to get used to it.
Pavilion Master Chen, it's settled then. I'll come by again in 7 days. As for the herbs on the list, I hope you can keep an eye out for them.
Yue Zhao said. Chen Changrong agreed.
Don't worry. These herbs are rare, but not impossible to find. I'll have someone look for them. As soon as there's any news, I'll contact Mr. Rin.
Thank you.
Yue Zhao cupped his hands in thanks. It looked like eldest senior brother was getting along well with Pavilion Master. Chen Yunjin's eyes rolled mischievously. She tugged on Yue Zhao's sleeve and said,
Eldest senior brother, I'm interested in researching planting. Can you buy me some seeds?
Yue Zhao was briefly stunned.
Planting? That's no easy task. Little junior sister, you still have the energy to study this too.
Yunjing immediately raised her eyebrows. Yue Zhao's heart skipped a beat. Oh no, he said the wrong thing. He instinctively wanted to cover Yunjing's mouth, but it was already too late. Yunjing arrogantly declared,
Energy. What kind of energy does this take? If a herb needs constant attention, then it's not a good herb. If I, the great genius, command it, then even a mere weed must learn to take care of itself.
Yue Zhao wore an expression of utter despair. So basically, when talking to Yunjing, you should never use any interrogative sentence, because her answers would always make you question life. Chen Changrong was also stunned. After a while, he lightly cleared his throat and said,
Since your esteemed junior sister is interested, then it's also good to try experimenting. How about this? I'll just give you some seeds. If you manage to grow anything, I'll be willing to buy it back.
In the cultivation world, the older the herb, the more valuable it was. These seeds themselves weren't worth much, so Chen Changrong generously gave her several dozen types. Yunjing accepted them and said,
Pavilion Master, I won't let you lose out. For every type of seed and herb I grow, I'll return a portion to you.
Chen Changrong waved his hand and simply smiled. He had acquired these at a very low price anyway. To grow them into usable herbs, you need a specialized cultivator, a designated medicinal garden, and considerable cost and time to cultivate them. If they were fully grown herbs, he might feel a bit of heart-hatch giving them away like this. But seeds? It's whatever. As for Yunjin saying she would return the grown herbs later, Chen Changrong simply treated it as a joke. She might be an alchemy genius, but when it comes to growing herbs, that's an equally complex field. This little miss is so young. Could she really be skilled at everything? Just treat it as giving a child something to play with. Chen Changrong waved cheerfully, watching the two of them leave with a big grin. At Tianxing sect, when Yue Zhao and Yunjing returned, the sky had already darkened. Lin Ya and the others were still waiting for them. Seeing them, Lin Ya looked a little worried.
What took you so long?
If they had been any later, he might have gone to look for them himself. Yue Zhao's expression was complicated. He said slowly,
It's a long story.
Then tell it slowly.
Si Wanning said casually. Yue Zhao took a deep breath.
I'm afraid if I told you, you won't be able to handle it.
At that, Lin Ya laughed.
What storms haven't I weathered?
Lin Ya waved his hand.
Just say it. I want to see what could possibly shake me.
Si Wanning leisurely lifted her teacup, clearly in the mood to hear a story. Only Yu Songnian maintained his cold and indifferent expression, as if nothing in the world concerned him. Yue Zhao glanced at them sympathetically and said,
Yunjing.
She caused trouble again.
She showed off and ran into someone tough.
She ran around recklessly.
Yue Zhao continued.
She passed the assessment and became a first-rank alchemist.
Everyone. What? Lin Ya instinctively dug into his ear. He must have misheard something. Was he hallucinating? Si Wanning choked on her tea and ended up spraying it out of her nose. No one knew how that was physically possible. Yu Songnian was the calmest. His cool face remained unchanged. Yue Zhao looked at Yu Songnian in admiration. Third junior brother had clearly cultivated his mental state to the highest level. He went on.
Little junior sister, show them your token.
Yunjing chuckled proudly and pulled out a token, slapping it down heavily on the table. The table shook 3 times from the impact. Lin Ya instinctively inspected it, then froze again. Ha! It really was a first-rank alchemist's token. How strange. Why would something like this be here?
That's not all. She also refined a batch of perfect quality pills.
Yue Zhao added. The room remained silent.
1 batch of grade 1, beating pills. I've already exchanged it for 10 high-grade spirit stones.
Yue Zhao said, placing 10 high-grade spirit stones on the table.
Little junior sister, these are yours. Keep them safe.
Yunjing happily picked them up and looked them over, then handed them back to Yue Zhao.
Eldest senior brother, You handle all the transactions with Bathtop Pavilion. Keep the money too, it'll be capital for future deals. If you invested in something else, just remember to give me a cut of the profits.
Yue Zhao paused, slightly shocked.
You're handing everything over to me.
Yun Jing replied matter-of-factly.
I'm a one-of-a-kind genius. Wasting my time on this stuff would be a massive loss for the cultivation world. Better let you take care of it.
Yue Zhao gritted his teeth at her words, but was also a little moved. No matter what, if Yun Jing could keep refining pills, their cooperation with Baicao Pavilion would surely be worth a lot. Yun Jing, entrusting it all to him, showed great trust. He looked deeply at her and said,
All right, I'll hold on to these spirit stones for now. When the business gets bigger...
Yue Zhao didn't finish the sentence, but was brimmed with ambition. Before he transmigrated, he had been a business prodigy, a multimillionaire at a young age. Ever since coming to this world, he had been cautious, slowly building up a small fortune. But that small fortune couldn't do anything grand. If he really had a large starting capital, why not buy half the cultivation world? Yue Zhao's blood was burning with excitement. Si Wanning said weakly,
Eldest senior brother, even if you're acting, this is a bit too realistic, right? These high-grade spirit stones seem so real.
Yue Zhao promptly stored the stones in his storage pouch, and looked at her with disdain.
And what would we have to gain from fooling you?
This token. It's definitely not fake.
Lin Ya muttered in a daze. He suddenly looked at Yun Jing. She had really become a first-rank alchemist.
Master, I'm already a first-rank alchemist. Just wait, I'll refine a heaven-mending pill for you in the future.
Yun Jing said with full confidence. Heaven-mending pill. Lin Ya froze slightly, momentarily touched. This child, she had worked so hard to become an alchemist. Also she could make a heaven-mending pill for him. His tone softened with fatherly affection.
Alchemy takes a lot of energy and focus. Xiaojin, I still think you should focus on cultivating the Azure Lotus Sword technique. Nothing is more important than improving your strength. If you spend all your time on alchemy, how will you have energy left to practice swordsmanship?
Yue Zhao.
Master, little junior sister doesn't really use much energy when she makes pills.
Nonsense.
Lin Ya was upset. Yue Zhao clearly didn't know how to care for others. Alchemy was hard work. How could it not be exhausting? Half an hour later, watching the automated furnace, and Yun Jing drinking tea while munching sunflower seeds, Lin Ya fell into deep thought. Chapter 44. Tallying the harvest. Lin Ya was silent for a long time. He turned to Yue Zhao and asked,
This is how she passed the assessment.
Yue Zhao nodded heavily.
Did no one beat her?
Lin Ya asked again on Yue Zhao's side.
Let's just say, everyone there had pretty good self-restraint.
Lin Ya deeply agreed. He patted Yue Zhao's shoulder.
You've had a hard time.
Yue Zhao's eyes filled with tears. At last his grievances were vindicated.
Eldest senior brother, your furnace is pretty good. Seems like it's even better quality than the one used in the Pill Pavilion assessment.
Yun Jing said, pretending she hadn't heard their complaints, her face full of curiosity.
Pavilion Master, Cheng insisted on giving it to me.
Yue Zhao replied.
This Baicao Pavilion here is just a branch. Larger markets also usually have a Baicao Pavilion presence. Pavilion Master Qing is only in charge of this branch. And, as far as I know, the branches compete with each other. He's trying every possible way to build a good relationship with you, in hopes of forming a long-term pill supply partnership. If his branch's performance improves, his standing within the Baicao Pavilion will also rise.
Yun Jing raised an eyebrow.
I'm just a first-rank alchemist. Do I already have that much value?
Zhao smiled.
You're underestimating how valuable an alchemist is. Alchemists are not only rare, but refining pills is also extremely taxing. Each batch takes tremendous effort. And until it's fully completed, there's always the risk it could fail. That's why it's so expensive to hire one. And if an alchemist successfully refines a batch, they would rather sell through the Pill Pavilion.
Yun Jing grew more curious.
The Pill Pavilion also handles pill sales.
Of course. But if an alchemist chooses to sell to the Pill Pavilion, they'll receive fewer spirit stones. To make up for this, the Pill Pavilion offers contribution points. These points can apparently be used for various things within the pavilion. You'll have to explore the details yourself.
Zhao said.
Little junior sister, If you want points, you can choose to sell your next batch of pills directly to the pill pavilion.
The priority sales agreement they signed with Baicao Pavilion didn't include the pill pavilion, nor could it. Yunjin thought for a moment.
Next time, I'll go check it out first.
At that moment, the pill furnace let out a low hum. Lin Yatian stopped.
小景, it looks like it's time to collect the pills.
Oh,
Yunjin replied lazily, extinguished the flame, and opened the lid. The next moment, golden light flashed again. Even Yue Zhao was stunned. Again, another batch of perfect quality pills. A glint flashed in his eyes. Could it be that little junior sister? Refining perfect quality pills wasn't a coincidence, but a certainty. Yue Zhao's heart couldn't help but burn with excitement. If his little junior sister had this kind of ability, building a business empire might not be just a dream.
eldest senior brother, give this bottle to them for trading as well.
Yunjin yelled.
From now on, I'll make 1 bottle a day for you. The quality should all be perfect.
1 perfect quality bottle per day. Yue Zhao was shocked. He really wanted to ask how she did it, but he didn't dare. He knew that asking would probably lead to another round of over-the-top, domineering, show-offy remarks. He's getting old, he couldn't take it anymore. Su Anning, on the other hand, apparently hadn't suffered enough. She opened her mouth to ask something. Yue Zhao rushed over and covered her mouth. Su Anning struggled a bit, then gave up. Only then did Yue Zhao breathe a sigh of relief.
Little junior sister, you've had a long day. Get some rest. We won't bother you anymore.
Yue Zhao said. Yunjin blinked and pretended she didn't notice his little stunt. After all, it wasn't worth showing off for just these few people. Good show-off lines needed to be saved for larger crowds.
Okay.
So Yunjin obediently agreed. The few from Heavenly Sword Peak had just left. Suddenly, Yue Zhao remembered something. Come to think of it, where was Yu Songnian? He looked around and finally found Yu Songnian still standing coolly in the corner. Yue Zhao's face darkened. He walked over and knocked on him. When he knocked on him, it actually made a solid banging sound. Yunjin was shocked.
3rd senior brother, turned into stone.
It's fine. Just an old illness.
Yue Zhao said with practiced ease.
Sometimes, he relapses. Just leave him be. He'll be back to normal in an hour or 2.
He hoisted Yu Songnian up onto his shoulder. No wonder 3rd senior brother had been making that cool face the whole time. He must have had another episode. As he left, Yue Zhao even remembered to close the door. Yunjin. Why did it feel like Heavenly Sword Peak wasn't quite normal either? A time-traveling eldest senior brother. A 3rd senior brother who occasionally turns into stone. Thankfully, 2nd senior sister still seemed relatively normal. Now that she was finally alone, Yunjin opened her system panel to check her harvest from showing off this round. All she could say was, the more people, the better. From this wave of showing off, beginning to end, she had collected a total of 10,478 emotional points, which directly gave her 100 simplification attempts. Adding that to her previous total, she now had a whopping 250 chances. All she could say was, what a beautiful number. It was too beautiful. She had to break it. Yunjin thought for a moment and took out a foundation establishment pill and a rejuvenation pill. Aside from beating pills, those were the only other kinds of pills she had. The foundation establishment pill and the rejuvenation pill were both grade 2 pills. Yunjin tried simplifying the foundation establishment pill a few times, but she found that to refine it, the prerequisite was always to have spiritual power at the foundation establishment realm. If she kept spending simplification attempts, she might eventually be able to remove that prerequisite. But Yunjin was now not far from the foundation establishment stage. Although the number of simplification attempts looked like a lot, they were actually not that easy to come by. So Yunjin temporarily stopped simplifying these 2 types of pills and decided to wait until she broke through to foundation establishment stage. Now that she could refine beating pills herself, with the double effect stacking, she should be able to break through in just a few days. And then there was the Azure Lotus Sword technique. Yunjin took out that golden sheet of paper. Then, she began to scan it.
D-level sword technique. Azure Lotus sword technique. A simplified version of the Kin level technique. Azure Lotus sword manual. A. Once this sword technique is cultivated to perfection, one can begin practicing the Azure Lotus Sword Manual. Conditions for cultivation. Must have mastered at least 10 types of sword intent. Must possess extraordinary comprehension of the sword path.
The conditions were very concise, and the more concise they were, the more frightening they became. For example, these 10 sword intents. Eldest senior brother and second senior sister should each count as having mastered 1 sword intent. Eldest senior brother's void-breaking sword intent, second senior sister's lotus sword intent. Each of those was already considered outstanding in its own right. But for the Azure Lotus Sword technique, the prerequisite was the mastery of 10 sword intents. For someone with even slightly average talent, they might spend their entire life and still not reach that level. Moreover, although there was a simplification button on the Azure Lotus Sword technique, for the first time, the button was actually grayed out. It indicated that it could not be simplified at the moment.
System, why can't the Azure Lotus Sword technique be simplified?
Yunjing asked directly.
Host's cultivation level is too low and does not qualify for simplification. To cultivate D-level techniques, foundation establishment stage is the minimum requirement.
Yunjing nodded. Foundation establishment again. Always foundation establishment. It seemed even the heavens were forcing her to reach foundation establishment quickly. Then she would establish her foundation quickly. Yunjing stood up, directly lit the furnace, and began refining pills. She planned to break through to the foundation establishment stage in one go. Chapter 45. Foundation establishment? Foundation establishment? Heavenly Sword Peak. Linya looked at the golden light beginning to shine above Yunjing's house once again. He was startled and immediately formed an array in midair, enveloping Yunjing's little house. The light was instantly absorbed by the formation, and no longer visible. After watching for a while, Linya couldn't help but feel a little helpless. This newly accepted disciple of his, just who is she? The more Linya thought about it, the more he felt like he wouldn't be able to sleep. His gaze drifted toward his wine gourd. Forget it, he couldn't sleep anyway. He might as well stay up all night drinking, he decided. Yunjing can shoulder this blame. Having found a reason, Linya instantly felt at peace with himself. Marketplace, pill pavilion, late night. Minheng suddenly sat up in bed. He slapped himself hard. No way. Was it really possible to refine pills like that? During the day, just to maintain order and calm people down, he wasn't even sure what nonsense he spouted. Barely managing to pacify the junior alchemists. But now, he couldn't hold back anymore. He had to try it for himself. At this hour, the others should have gone to rest. Minheng snuck into the alchemy room like a thief. To recreate everything perfectly, he used the same grade 1 pill furnace from the assessment. Beating grass, cleansing spirit solution, everything was ready. He recalled Yunjing's method. Selecting beating grass with similar spiritual strength, then, without any preprocessing, tossing them directly into the furnace. Next, he boldly poured in the cleansing spirit solution. As for controlling the flame, he didn't bother with that either. All he had to do now was wait half an hour, and he would have a bottle of perfect quality beating pills. That was what Minheng thought. But suddenly, his expression changed. Without hesitation, he slapped a few talismans onto the furnace, and immediately shielded himself with spiritual power. The next second, boom! A muffled explosion came from the furnace. Although he prepared in advance and managed to protect the furnace, Minheng's face turned dark in an instant. What had gone wrong? Why could that little girl succeed, and yet he had failed so miserably? Minheng thought hard, then suddenly slapped his forehead. He remembered he was missing one crucial step. He started over from the beginning. This time, after tossing in the beating grass and cleansing spirit solution, he sat down to the side and quickly pulled out a pack of sunflower seeds. Yes, that little girl had eaten sunflower seeds. That might be the essence of this refining technique. To replicate it properly, it had to be an exact copy. And wouldn't you know it? This time, the furnace actually didn't explode right away. Minheng's eyes lit up. Could it be? Did eating sunflower seeds really have some mysterious power? He started munching with even more gusto. Suddenly, the sound of the pill room's door opening echoed.
be quiet. Master Mean told us not to try this lightly.
If Master Mean finds out, we might get kicked out.
A few junior alchemists crept in, carrying beating grass and cleansing spirit solution. They looked up and saw Mingheng sitting there, munching sunflower seeds. Two groups of people stared at each other in stunned silence. Boom! Another pill explosion sounded, as if adding BGM to the scene. Mingheng stood up and calmly said,
I couldn't sleep, so I came to casually practice pill refining.
The group glanced at the beating grass beside him and nodded repeatedly. Surely he wasn't making beating pills, right? With a straight face, Mingheng said,
All right, don't disturb my refining. Dismiss yourselves.
The few disciples quickly agreed and retreated. As soon as they were gone, Mingheng locked the door. He started thinking again. Why had he failed this time? Was it his sunflower seed eating posture? Should he be crossing his legs? While Mingheng continued spiraling into existential doubt, Yunjing had already effortlessly refined 3 full furnaces of beating pills. 30 beating pills. Plus 3 foundation establishment pills. This time, she was determined to break through to the foundation establishment stage in one go. If she didn't break through, she wouldn't leave the house. The moment the first beating pill entered her stomach, spiritual energy surged violently. Yunjing quickly began absorbing it. Her perfect quality, beating pill contained 10 times the spiritual power of a regular one. But it was still a grade 1 pill, and she was already very close to foundation establishment stage. Her spiritual energy advanced a step forward, but not yet to the 10th level. Yunjing continued taking pills. After taking 5 pills in succession, her spiritual energy directly reached the 10th level of the qi refining stage. The 10th level is the peak of the qi refining stage. The next step was foundation establishment. Yunjing continued consuming the pills one by one. After finishing all 30, her spiritual power was already near the maximum threshold of qi refining. Without hesitation, Yunjing immediately swallowed 1 foundation establishment pill. Foundation establishment pills were rare. That Chen Hao had spent years accumulating just 3 of them. But Yunjing wasn't worried. She had already obtained the recipe. As long as she had the herbs, she could make them herself. These few foundation establishment pills weren't that precious to her. The moment the first one entered her body, it instantly transformed into a powerful medicinal force that surged through her entire being. As expected, compared to grade 1 pills, this grade 2 pill's potency was much stronger. The sliver of spiritual power she still lacked before was instantly filled to the peak after taking the foundation establishment pill. And the medicine's power kept radiating outward. Sensing she could still handle it, Yunjin directly took the second pill. This time, the spiritual power that had reached the peak of qi refining began to slowly condense. As it gathered to a certain point, a strand of spiritual energy began to gradually liquefy. The process was slow, but continuous. There was no shortcut for this step. Yunjin patiently refined the foundation establishment pill bit by bit. Heavenly Sword Peak. Yunjin had been in seclusion for 3 days and nights. If Niya hadn't continuously sensed the spiritual energy fluctuating inside, he might have barged in to check already.
Master, what exactly is little junior sister cultivating?
Si Wanning asked with concern. Lin Ya wanted to say something, but instinctively shook his head.
Master?
Yue Zhao also looked confused. Lin Ya replied with some hesitation.
Before seclusion, Xiaojin's spiritual power was already close to reaching the 10th level. Seeing as how she kept cultivating, I think she is planning to break through to the foundation establishment stage.
Break through to foundation establishment. Yue Zhao was stunned. Little junior sister had only joined the sect recently. Was that even possible? To break through to the foundation establishment stage, reaching the peak of the qi refining stage, was only one requirement. More important, her soul realm also had to reach the foundation establishment level. The soul realm could only be elevated using specialized techniques found in the 4 great holy lands. Disciples from mid-tier sects like theirs could only rely on self-discipline and gradual improvement over time. To reach foundation establishment, both spiritual power and soul realm were necessary. In terms of spiritual power, Yue Zhao wasn't worried. Yunjing was extraordinarily gifted, and with her alchemy skills, breaking through should be easy. But her soul realm? Had she already broken through that too? That would be scientifically impossible.
I don't think it's likely either.
Lin Ya murmured, dazed.
But I can't think of any other explanation.
This surge of activity clearly looked like a breakthrough.
Let's just wait a bit more. It's already been 3 days. Little junior sister should be coming out soon.
As Si Wanning was speaking, suddenly, the surging spiritual energy calmed completely, as if fully absorbed by someone. Lin Ya's pupils shrank sharply. He instinctively checked inside, and his expression became incredibly complicated. Foundation, establishment, Yunjing actually broke through.